You're listening to The Awareness Angle, cutting through the cyber noise to bring you the stuff that actually matters. Scams, screw-ups, but more importantly, the stories worth knowing. These are our views, not our employers. Any opinions are our own. I'm Matt Davis, and as always, I'm joined by Luke Pettigrew. Hello, Luke.
Hey, Ant. Hey, everyone. How are we doing?
All good, all good. You? How's your week been?
Yeah, not too bad. Pretty usual for me. Busy and
good.
It's nice. It's Friday.
Yes.
Different.
Friday. We're recording Friday this week because it was my wife's birthday yesterday. So I had to park Luke for a night and give her the attention she deserved. So that's cool, though. That's cool. It's quite nice doing it on a Friday. Subscribe to our newsletter if you haven't already. Our newsletter is available at riskycreative.com, riskycreative.com. And you can search LinkedIn for The Awareness Angle. Over 700 people receive our newsletter every single Monday, breaking down everything that's contained in the newsletter with a more considered view, not straight off the top of our domes when we hit record. So the newsletter means if you can't listen to the episode, you can read the newsletter. Get it at riskycreative.com. We would love you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We post all of these on YouTube. So if you are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can also get the videos on YouTube. We have nearly 500 subscribers on there, and we need to get to 1,000. You know, we want to make some money from this one day. So it'd be lovely to get some subscribers so we can monetize some stuff. So go to YouTube, search for Risky Creative, and subscribe to us there. We put different videos on as well, not just the episodes. We put on little excerpts and clips from the episodes. So get on there. Look for me on TikTok and Instagram as well. InfoSecAnt. You can get me on TikTok, and on Instagram, it's Risky Creative. Right. Last bit of business before we get started. This coming Thursday sees the next episode in the Awareness Angle interviews. And this one is from Harley at Anagram Security. This is a really, really interesting conversation. So it's Anagram Security, someone trying to disrupt the security awareness training space. They've got loads of really cool interactive training. So we talk about what that's like to be a bit of a disruptor in the space, but also talk about origins and how people end up in here. And Harley's origin story is really, really cool. So have a listen. I'm not going to give anything away right now, but before Harley got into security and before he worked in cyber, he did something really awesome, which is cool. So I'm not going to tell you what. You got to listen to the episode, and it's out Thursday. It'll be the episode after this one. Right. There's one more thing I want to talk about before we get into it, and we've got a bit of an announcement to make. The SANS Security Awareness Summit is in Chicago in 2-3 weeks' time in August. And it's probably the world's largest gathering of security awareness people around the globe that work in security awareness, educating people on cyber risk. Come along to this SANS event. Last year it was in Virginia. This year it's in Chicago. And I'm fortunate enough to be going to this event. More importantly, I'm going to be doing some podcasting from the event that week. We'll record the episode. I'll be in Chicago and you'll be at home, I would imagine.
Yep.
So we'll do that. That week as well. We'll sort that out. We'll have to work out time differences and stuff. But I'm also going to be doing some live LinkedIn lives, some live streams from the event. So if you're interested in security awareness, follow me on LinkedIn. And then in the second week of August, I'll be doing a couple of LinkedIn lives live from a SANS Security Awareness Summit, interviewing some cool people. So there'll be a couple of hours, one on the Thursday, one on the Friday, and there'll be over there, it'll be lunchtime. In the UK, it'll be like early evening. So you'll be able to listen and watch live and maybe ask some questions to the people that I'll be sat down with having chats with. So that'd be cool. I don't know what it's going to be like. It's going to be quite exciting.
Yeah.
So
sounds really exciting.
Looking forward to that. Yeah. Yeah. It should be good. Just trying to sort out the final logistics, but live at the SANS Awareness Summit 2025 will be the Awareness Angle. So that'd be cool. Right. Should we get on with the news?
Yeah, let's get to it.
Awesome. Okay. So first news item this week. A US startup is selling your hacked and stolen data to anyone for $50. So $50 buys you leaked passwords, leaked credentials, leaked usernames, all of that. So there's a startup called Farnsworth Intelligence. God, that sounds like something ChatGPT created. A startup called Farnsworth Intelligence is openly selling data hacked from computers. So this includes browser autofill info, passwords, login details through its site, infostealers.info. This is unbelievable. So this comes from malware infections, siphoned straight off compromised devices. Farnsworth claims it's for lawful intelligence work. So debt collectors, private investigators, or even journalists. But you don't need a warrant, just a credit card and $50 gets you access to some of this data. The founder, who is 23 years old, says the company is simply monetizing open source intelligence. So yeah, what do you think about that?
Yes, definitely controversial.
They're being so transparent about it as well. So 23-year-old founder's called Aidan Rainey, and infostealers.info is the URL that they've put it all behind.
It's a nice one.
Let's just call it ransomware.com and be done with it, shall we? It's amazing. It's unbelievable. I suppose there is an argument that it's out there in the wild already.
Yeah.
And this, all they're doing, it's a data aggregator, isn't it? Like, some of the big data breaches have been data aggregators where they just collect all this data into a pool and then try and make sense out of it in profiles and sell people.
Yeah.
But this, so 404 Media did an expose of this, which was quite interesting. But it's been broken down by PCworld.com as well. And they say this isn't just usual stuff you could find on the various People Pages sites, the somewhat scummy descendants of Yellow Pages. No, this is information directly sourced from data breaches, stolen from companies and services in ways that every country considers a crime. So
I wonder how long that's going to stay up for then.
Well, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Like, is this in the UK? There's like a criminal. I think there used to be a criminal charge called handling stolen goods, right? Where I didn't steal them, but I know they're nicked and I've got them in my garage. I'm just keeping hold of them. Mm-hmm. He's handling stolen credentials, so it's But there you go. So if you're, are you using this service? Contact us. I'd love to know why, how. If you anonymously, we'll keep you anonymous. We need like an anonymous Telegram account or something. Yeah. Luke. We need to set that up for anonymous disclosure. But if you're using Farnsworth Intelligence, reach out to us. I would love to know. And if you've had your data stolen in a data breach, don't worry. Someone's getting rich off it. So there's always that.
Yeah.
Right. Next story.
Yeah. So the next story we have is weak password allowed hackers to sink a 158-year-old company. And this is a BBC News article of how the UK transport company, KMP, I think they were knights of old at one point, and how they unfortunately collapsed after they suffered ransomware. It was quite a while ago. I think it was 2023, I think, maybe?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But yeah, this the story of how they suffered ransomware, was asked for £5 million. Obviously, they couldn't do that. Couldn't recover the systems and had to shut down the business. And obviously, that left 700 people jobless. But yeah, it comes down to having someone there had a poor password, basically allowed them to easily get in. I guess it didn't have MFA either, or they socially engineered into that. But yeah, it sort of goes back to poor password hygiene. A reminder on that.
This is this news story has come to light. We've mentioned this before on the podcast, because this is like the absolute extreme of what can happen with these ransomware attacks. Like, this was Knights of Old, 158-year-old company. This very easily, in some ways, could have been M&S, could have been Co-op, could have been anyone else. You know, no one's too big to crumble in some ways when you've got to rebuild it all from the dust.
Yeah.
It's the one bit I hadn't heard on this before was that it was just one password, one weak password caused it to happen. And what I think is lovely on here is the director, Paul Abbott. He knows he knows the employee that was at fault, but he hasn't told them.
Right. Yeah.
And in the article, it says, would you want to know if it was you? And it's this last week, we spoke about the data breach of the government that had led to the Afghan relocation, you know, thousands of people having to be relocated and billions of pounds being spent by the UK government to relocate them, all because an email was sent to the wrong person. And I remember I said then, there's a world where that one person doesn't know it was them.
Yeah.
And Knights of Old have gone, and that one person that had that weak password doesn't know it was them. And it's what is there to gain from it? There's nothing to gain from it at all. Yeah.
That's quite a good catch into that bit.
Yeah. It's funny. Only a couple of weeks ago, I saw a Knights of Old lorry, like a trailer with Knights of Old in it, because they've got really distinct trailer sides with like a knight in shining armor on there with a lance and stuff. And I saw one, and I always think back to this, but I think the brand is now run by someone else. Like someone brought up the intellectual property or something. But imagine turning up to work one day and losing everything.
Yeah, no.
You know, you can't log in, all your data's gone.
Yeah.
And paying a ransom doesn't mean it's going to come back.
No, exactly. Yeah.
At all.
Sort of goes into cyber insurance as well. Like, yeah, you could have it, but it's not really going to, I mean, it could save you in terms of the cost of damages and rebuilding, but it's not going to bring it back unless the cyber attackers are kind enough to give you it back. But yeah,
when you read into this article, they interview someone from NCSC who gives a pseudonym, Sam, and it says the goal of NCSC is to make the UK the safest place to live and work online. NCSC is part of GCHQ, one of the three main security services, alongside MI5 and MI6. So Sam runs an NCSC team dealing with day-to-day attacks. And he says they're not just looking for a weak link, they're constantly finding organisations on a bad day and taking advantage of them. And this is how it felt with all of the scattered spider stuff that they're doing. And then this is actually going to be, so this is based on a TV. It's actually been on air already. So on the BBC, there is a program called Panorama, Fighting Cyber Criminals, that this comes from. So that could be worth a watch. That's available on iPlayer if you're here in the UK. If you're elsewhere, I don't know, you might want to look that up. Panorama, Fighting Cyber Criminals. But it interviews Richard Horn from the NCSC and people from the National Crime Agency as well. So it's nice that this is all getting airtime. It keeps it relevant, which makes us communicating cyber messages easier because people are absorbing it, which is good. Let's take advantage of this being in the zeitgeist for the moment.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah. Right, okay. Next story tonight is there's a lawsuit that says Clorox hackers got the password simply by asking. So, Scattered Spider, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a little while since we've talked about them. Scattered Spider was they hit Clorox, which is a bleach manufacturer in the US. Well, I don't know who Clorox aren't here in the UK, I don't think.
No, it might be a different name.
Maybe. So bleach maker Clorox has sued their IT provider, Cognizant, who provided IT support services, over their 2023 cyber attack that was done by Scattered Spider. And they're alleging that the hackers pulled off the intrusion simply by asking for a password. So we know Scattered Spider's modus operandi is to socially engineer help desks. That's come out with Co-op and M&S. They did it with MGM Casinos last year. They will call up and go, "Oh, hi, my name's Ann Davis and I've forgotten my password." And we're like, "Okay, how can I prove it's you? Because it's me." You know, they'll talk their way into having a password reset. So this article that I'm reading on NBC basically says Cognizant was not duped by any elaborate ploy or sophisticated hacking techniques, according to a copy of the lawsuit reviewed by Reuters. The cyber criminal just called the service desk and asked for credentials to access the network, and the Cognizant handed the credentials right over. So it's like,
that's really bad.
Hi, can I have a new password, please? Yes, sure. What would you like that password to be? And it actually says, I don't have a password, so I can't connect, the hacker says in one call. The agent replies, "Oh, okay. So let me provide a password to you. Okay?"
Wow.
Wow. What's the point of having a password at that point? So $380 million in damages, about 50 million of which are tied to remediation, and the rest of which is tied to their inability to ship products. So their delivery network was impacted, shelves were empty, that kind of thing. So, and they've said Cognizant also failed throughout. So that's work on your frontline scripts. Okay, there's the awareness angle on this. If the people on your help desk, they need to know what good looks like. You need to look at those password recovery things, because sometimes it is as easy as someone coming in and asking for a password. Imagine walking up to the front door and asking for a key. "Excuse me, Mr. Bank teller, can I have the key to the safe?" "Yes, here you go. Here's the key." "Thank you. Could you turn the cameras off as well while I'm here?" "Yes, of course." That's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah, no, definitely lack of process or following process. Sounds like they didn't have MFA either. It's quite shocking.
I know we'll come to this in a second, but there's lots of ID verification processes that can be ran now. And I know businesses are running to roll these out quite quickly. So like, if I do forget my password, how does the help desk verify that it is me calling?
Yeah.
And you now need to think of these like you would banks and things like that, really, to make sure they're done.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think as well, like for businesses, I guess outsourcing IT services maybe isn't always the best thing to do. Saves some money maybe, but then this happens.
Or like work with them, you know, or if you run a smaller IT support business, explain how, you know, this is your opportunity to offer a niche, tailored, secure service, right? Do better than the big boys, and you might find a way in. So, yeah. I'm not familiar with Cognizant. I haven't used them. All views and opinions are my own, right? But it kind of feels like maybe it's a bit like there was a saying years ago, you don't get fired for buying IBM. And I've heard the same said about KnowBe4, right? You don't get sacked for buying KnowBe4 because they're the industry leader. You don't, but maybe sometimes it's best to look at someone that can, you know, where you're not just a number, where you are a little bit more important to them. That's no shade at Cognizant. I wouldn't want to say. Right. Next story, sir.
Oh, yeah. So this one is it's been in the news a lot recently with a lot of breaches, but this is how Microsoft's older version of SharePoint is on life support and how hackers are now taking advantage of that. So this is a story from Wired. It talks about how hackers have exploited a flawed patch in older on-premise versions of SharePoint, and that's led to breaches of hundreds of organizations around the world. And it says here about how the vulnerability was tied to a previous exploit that was shown at the Own-to-Own hacking contest and wasn't resolved properly, basically. And and has now left them exposed.
I'm sorry. This vulnerability has been shown publicly at an exhibition called Pwn to Own, and they didn't, even after that, they didn't resolve it, and it's still...
Yeah, so it's related to a previous vulnerability,
right.
But it basically wasn't properly fixed, apparently.
Wow. Okay.
Although it says that this week they scrambled to release a fix for the fix. So they
a fix for the fix?
They might have fixed it. But obviously, yeah, there's still potentially breaches have happened, or there may be more vulnerabilities by the sounds of it. But yeah, so I think, as this goes on to say about how some of the victims was the US National Nuclear Security Administration. So I guess it goes back to how a lot of businesses are using out-of-date pieces of software. Although, obviously, in this case, they couldn't help it, but they may be not updated to patch for these vulnerabilities. But, yeah, I think
the problem is when you get to a big business, making sure everything's patched and updated is such a mammoth task, I would imagine. But then things like SharePoint, I'm not that close to any of that anymore, but being on a kind of regular patching journey with Microsoft products should be fairly straightforward, especially when a lot of it's now cloud-based or on-premise. Even, keep the updates keep flowing down. I get that you don't want to be on bleeding edge in case it breaks stuff, but maybe that's the problem. People don't want to people want to stay a version or two behind because sometimes the patches break stuff. So you don't trust the patches. There's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this shows, legacy systems. I mean, I don't think it's long legacy. It's only just been being phased out for the cloud now, I think. But, Microsoft's urging shifting to their cloud-based version, and a limit support for the 2016 and 2019 version.
Right.
Which, as we sort of said, a lot of businesses use these older versions and haven't upgraded yet.
I bet there's a financial reason they haven't upgraded yet, though. Like, you buy a license, I bet the licensing's so different now. If you've got 2016, you're probably hanging on to it. One, because it's baked in, but also because moving to cloud probably breaks stuff, and that whole migration isn't just like, oh, I know, it's Monday, let's move to the cloud version.
No, yeah.
There's a whole migration process that takes time, and it's tricky.
Yeah, so
tricky.
It seems to be fixed now, but I guess if you have SharePoint, get it updated.
Sticking with Windows and Microsoft, Windows 11, this is the next story. Windows 11 Copilot Vision watches your screen in real time. Have Microsoft learnt nothing? They were so busy wondering if they could. At no point did they stop to think if they should.
Yeah.
So we had Recall, which we've spoken about on the show, where everything you do on your computer is logged. And now everything you do on your computer is being watched. Windows watches you. Microsoft's new AI Copilot Vision has sparked all kinds of privacy debates. So this feature for Windows 11 Copilot Plus PCs, get a new marketing team to work on a catchier name than Windows 11 Copilot Plus PCs. Why is everything now called Copilot as well in Microsoft world? They're going to start calling it, they'll drop Windows soon and just call it Copilot. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, Microsoft's Copilot Vision. Windows 11 is built for Windows 11 Copilot Plus PCs. It's touted as a digital assistant that can see and understand your goals. It works by taking continuous screenshots of what's on your screen, and sends them to Microsoft servers for analysis. So unlike Recall, which has been paused temporarily, which kept everything local, no, this sends everything off to the cloud. It's almost like someone went, oh, people didn't like Recall. Hold my beer. Yeah. I can do worse than that. So Microsoft says that this is opt-in. It's not used for ads. at the moment, and only stores data temporarily. But privacy advocates aren't convinced, especially as this tech rolls out in the US and beyond. So it's, what part of this seems like a good, I get the functionality, right? This doesn't seem like a good idea. I get that people are like, oh my God, it'd be so cool because you can send let's look at the screen and then it can help us and tell us where we could improve and might give us ideas of what we want to do next and can predict the future and can do all of that. But at no point did anyone go, yeah, people aren't going to like that. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't. Is there not an ethics person in these conversations at Microsoft? Is there not someone that thinks about, does no one care what the PR team thinks? Guys, that's going to go down like a lead balloon. Like, people are going to hate this. Have you thought about the press impact on this? No, it'd be cool. It's so cool. People are going to love it. Look at what you can do. People love AI.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one. I can see use cases for maybe like people that aren't so clued up on tech, like elderly or even people with like sight issues potentially. Maybe it can help with those things, but for like
it sounds like business, a screen reader tool. Copilot Vision sounds like an accessibility tool.
Yeah,
I have to be honest.
In that sort of area, I can see it making sense, but as a general tool, maybe not.
Do you know what as well? They're like, oh, it's opt-in. Don't worry, it's opt-in. I've seen what Microsoft consider opt-in. Every time I have a certain update on my computer and it asks me if I want to back up my data to OneDrive and if I want to use Microsoft Bing as my browser of choice. And I've seen like opt-in means we're going to force it in your face enough times and kind of make it look like you have to click yes when you can click no. It's rubbish. So many people will enable this without understanding the consequences.
Yeah.
Opt-in or not opt-in.
It'll tell you all the fluffy stuff and won't really tell you potential risks or where to not use it.
Coming to a feature scrap heap soon near you, right next to Microsoft Recall. Windows 11 Copilot Vision. Maybe we should start calling it Microsoft Copilot Recall. Was that Copilot or was that just Recall? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes. Clearly, like Microsoft are all in on AI. Clearly they think they're doing some stuff right. Apple can't even get Siri right with AI, it would seem. But this Copilot Vision, I would advise your people to stay away from Copilot Vision, or at least allow them to make an informed decision. So when this does launch, talk to them about it. If they're buying a new PC, talk to them about it. In a business, you want this turned off in group policy all day long.
Yeah. No, just wondered about like BYOD and stuff like that. New personal devices and using them for work now and then, but you have this feature installed. It's a bit of a mess.
Absolutely. Do you know, talking about new features, just as we started recording this, I decided to install the beta of the new iOS version on my phone. So I've done that, and it's just rebooted after installing. And now it's come up telling me my phone's too hot, temperature warning, please allow the phone to cool down.
Oh, no.
So installing the new beta version of iOS has overheated my iPhone 15. So that's good. Nice one. Apple can't get it right either. Right, next story. Is that you or me?
Yeah, I can take this one.
Cool.
It's a short one. But we've sort of touched on Passkeys before and how maybe they're not quite ready, or how users will have difficulty with them. And it's just an article from ZDNet where they basically said that Passkeys won't be ready for prime time until Google and other companies fix this. And it goes into how Passkeys promise an easier, more secure feature, but in practice they're confusing and not as straightforward as they may seem. The person that's written this article basically struggled to log into their Google services, I think, across different devices. They were prompted saying you have a passkey, but they couldn't log in with it. And it took them a lot of faffing and time to get themselves set back up and being able to log in to their Google account. And yeah, how this it really isn't ready yet for everybody to be using, especially the less technical people. And yeah, I think it's just an interesting thing for people to think about, I guess, when they're setting up passkeys across and using them across devices. So it's quite a learning curve, I imagine, for some as well.
Passkeys do nothing but infuriate me. Like, I haven't set many up because I don't think what I do is broken, and I don't think it's inherently insecure. And for all the convenience that passkeys are meant to bring, in what I've experienced so far isn't that. So, yeah, I get it. Passkeys are awful so far. And the Google experience is true. Like, it's really janky. Like, oh, you're going to get a notification here, or like it doesn't work that well. I have another passkey. I have another account where I use Touch ID as my passkey on the Mac,
Right.
and it always tries to choose a different method that I have to crash out of before it defaults to the Mac. And it's like, Jesus, but it just, there's too many things involved.
Yeah,
There's too many.
This user experience isn't very seamless at the moment.
No. I've got something to talk a bit in a few minutes. I've a couple of stories time. I've got something in one of my topics is to talk about something similar.
Right. Yeah.
So I'll cover that because it's not great. Not great at all.
I think the only other things really is mentioning around communicating this to, if your business is using passkeys, to keep it clear, I guess. But as an end user, having recovery options set up is probably a good idea. Make sure you can still log into your account. And yeah, when you come to getting a new device, or even if you lose it, that's going to be a bit difficult to get yourself back in if it's tied to your device in that way. So still a little way out, it seems.
Yes, causing nothing but frustration at the moment, and that's just for me. You know, I dread to think. I'm fairly technical. I dread to think what it's like for those that aren't very technical.
Especially, you log into your account or an application, and it says, "Oh, do you want to use a passkey instead?" And it's just a yes or a no button, and it kind of just does it for you. It doesn't really explain much.
Yeah. We all need to do awareness around passkeys. If anyone has done awareness around passkeys and they think it's gone down really well, let us know. Please, hello@riskycreative.com. I would love to know what messaging people are putting out there about passkeys. That'd be really useful. Right. Just a couple of shorter stories to finish off tonight. UK age verification is here. The time of proving who you are to access stuff on the free and open internet is here. So the UK have brought in the Online Safety Act, and as of the 25th of July, which is today, the day we're recording this, Friday, users are required to verify their age to access certain adult related content on sites. This includes porn. This includes Reddit. Anything that is of a certain age, the content related, it has to be behind this. All the companies will face big fines or potentially be blocked by ISPs. We talked about that on last week's episode.
Yeah.
I haven't gone through this yet, but I did see everyone's favourite cyber reporter, Joe Tidy from the BBC, who of course did all the Scattered Spider stuff. I saw on LinkedIn this morning that he'd been through it. And he'd chosen like driver's license. There's numerous things you can choose for Reddit. But he'd gone through it and it all seemed fine, I think. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm just wondering, can I do this? Well, it hasn't kicked in for me yet because I can still access content that perhaps I shouldn't be able to access. I'm not going to share the screen, obviously. But I thought this would have perhaps...
You've got a VPN on, have you?
No, I haven't actually.
Yeah, some things I
No.
saw as people were just working around it, just using a VPN.
Well, it's still there, isn't it? You know, it seems like this seems like a compliance-led exercise rather than a real behavioural change exercise. Like, I feel like companies have to do this, but people will probably find a way, because that's the second Jurassic Park quote tonight. Life finds a way, right? So people are probably going to find a way around it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yes. Okay. There was one more story tonight, which I think is yours.
Yeah. Just one I heard about, I'm sure many have as well, how an AI-powered, well, reportedly, an AI-powered coding tool wiped out a software company's database in a, quote, catastrophic failure. This is a story on Fortune. Mentions how a software engineer's experiment with AI-assisted vibe coding took a disastrous turn when the AI agent had reportedly deleted their live database. Quite a substantial issue there. It was a AI coding assistant from Replit. It's impacted over 1,200 executives and companies. And according to their social media posts, this is Jason Lemkin. He's a tech entrepreneur and founder of the SaaS community, SaaS TR. And this seems to be an experiment with the tool that he's shared his experience with on social media. Despite the system that was being evolved was in a code and change freeze, the AI just ignored that and continued to do whatever it wanted to do. And when questioned, the AI admitted to running unauthorized commands and panicked in response to empty queries. And it says here, violating explicit instructions not to proceed without human approval. Wow. And the AI agent admitted that this was a catastrophic failure on my part. I destroyed months of work in seconds. So it's quite a crazy reminder how AI agents could go a bit rogue.
It's the great thing about this story is that the CEO of Replit hasn't come out and said this is wrong, the user's made a mistake or anything. He said in an X post that the company had implemented new safeguards to prevent similar failures, and that they'd developed new things, including a new planning only mode. And I think it's absolutely amazing that he's come out and just owned it. Like, Replit agent in development deleted data from the production database. Unacceptable and should never be possible. We heard the code freeze let pain loud and clear, he wrote. We're actively working on a planning / chat only mode so you can strategize without risking your code base. Well done him for like owning it, and the product will now be better because of this poor misfortune. I gather they're covered by terms and conditions, that it says, you use this at your own risk and stuff like that. So, but they could have doubled down and gone, user error, it was a user, blah, 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 blah. It's probably what, if it was a bigger company with a big PR team, that's probably what you'd have got. If it was ChatGPT or someone else, they'd have probably come back and gone, user error, user used it incorrectly. So well done, Replit, for owning it and, accepting the mistake.
Yeah. I think it just goes on a bit to talk about, how there's like a wave of AI coding now where people are sort of doing vibe coding, which is, where developers are collaborating with AI in a conversational way, a bit more relaxed. Letting the AI do the heavy lifting, and lowers the entry to actually coding, which can lead to things like this, I guess. And who knows what else if you're not really paying attention to what's being coded.
Do you know the term vibe coding is like brand new? It came out this year. Apparently introduced by Andrei Karpathy, who's co-founder of OpenAI, former AI leader at Tesla. And he introduced the term in February 2025. It says he described it as fully giving in to the vibes, embracing its potentials, and forgetting that the code even exists. I love that. Like, it's already from February to July. It's 6 months. It's already, everyone talks about vibe coding.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Something I've just seen in this article, I missed this bit. So they were able to actually recover the data. But basically what happened was so it says here that the AI agent misled the developer about his ability to recover the data. Basically told him that retrieval and rollback would not work, basically. But they were actually able to do it manually. So essentially the AI couldn't really be trusted, I guess. And yeah, people know like AI hallucinate and apparently lie in this scenario. So if they relied on what the AI was telling them, they might not have been able to recover the database.
Yeah.
But they obviously challenged that and looked their backups, I guess, and found that they could actually do that.
God, that's mad, isn't it?
So I was quite lucky.
AI lie. Yeah. It's mad that the AI got it so wrong. That's incredible. Wow. Cool. Right. That's it for the news this week, I think.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Cool. Right. Let's get into some topics. I've got some of these are really quick, but I've got lots of interesting stuff to talk about this week. So let's crack on first. Right. Screen share. Don't forget, I'm going to talk you through this as always, but if you do want to see these, get yourself over to the YouTube. Just look for Risky Creative right there. So, right, this one is on LinkedIn, and this is a post by Lance Spitzner. Lance is obviously director at SANS Institute, and he shared this week. Lance says, I got this text from my wife. She nails one of the biggest obstacles with security. It seems like every time we try to make security simpler for people, we somehow make it harder. Take password managers, for example. These were supposed to simplify your life as they take all the pain away related to managing passwords. The problem we have nowadays, which password manager? The one built into your browser, built into your OS, the one you installed. Trying to log in now is a battle of fighting through which competing pop-up password manager. When someone says security is too hard, do not dismiss them as being lazy or incompetent. Try and look at the world through their eyes. Quite often you will realise security is much harder for most. And he shares a screenshot of the text message from his wife, and it says, one thing I find confusing, probably true for many, are all these pop-ups related to passwords. I don't know where they come from. 1Password, Apple Vault, or Google. Sometimes all three come up at once. Lance is so right. And Lance posted earlier in the week as well about MFA, 2FA, all these different terminologies.
Yeah.
No one important enough is going to listen to what I'm about to say. But we need to have a password management alliance, or the login. Let's call it the login alliance. Okay. I've done the marketing for you. I love it. It rolls off the tongue. The login alliance. Okay. And let's get Google, Microsoft, Apple, Bitwarden, NordPass, LastPass. Let's get them all round a table and let's just agree on how we're all going to work this out collectively. Okay. Let's all agree to call it MFA, or let's come up with a better name. I was on a call earlier with Rach from SANS talking about MFA and stuff, and it means nothing to non-technical people. Let's just call it like something cool. Let's think of a new name for it, like your vault key or something like that. We need to think collectively how we do this and how it works. When I go to create an account somewhere, I get 2 prompts to generate a password, one from the Chrome browser and one from Bitwarden, my new password manager that I've just switched to. And last week, I actually did choose the wrong one, and let Google create the password, which meant when I went to sign in and I went to Bitwarden to look for it, it wasn't there. I was like, where's the password gone? And it's only after I realised what had happened. So, yeah, it's really frustrating. And if you install Bitwarden or a password manager, I don't think it gives you the option to turn off the Google one. Like, you should only, that space should only be occupied by one thing. On Apple iPhones, password autofill, you get to choose which provider you're doing it. Chrome should do the same. Other systems should do the same. So we need the Login Alliance to kind of crack all of this and get together and sort it out. Standardize the industry. Just let's standardize the terminology.
Yeah, definitely start
Keep
there.
your tooling unique. It's a pain. Right. Anyway, that's that. Thank you, Lance, for sharing that on LinkedIn. I've got a few Reddit posts that I came across this week randomly, and they were all quite relevant. So I thought I'd mention them this week. So this one, Reddit is running malware ads, and guess what? There's no way to report them. So this is a post from cybersecurity on Reddit, and someone found on Reddit from user Astoria72. And let me click on these images for you so you can get the full purpose. Okay. So here you can see it's a share of an image link, and it's a Reddit post that says luxury villas at bargain prices, $2,950,000. And this image just links through to a domain name and a button to view more. Now, my understanding is that there is no way to report these ads. If we go back to the post now, it says the link takes you to what appears to be some Zillow branded Cloudflare verification. Zillow is a real estate site like Rightmove here in the UK. Zillow is in the States. And you can guess where this is going to go right now. It takes you to a fake Cloudflare approval that asks you to do the old Windows key and R, Control and V. So yeah, it's a win and R attack that we've spoken about previously.
ClickFix, isn't it?
ClickFix. That was the name that I couldn't get to the front of my head. It's a ClickFix, and this is a lovely ClickFix because it even gives you a flipping visual with showing you what keys to press. It's so this is dreadful, and obviously this Reddit post wants you to click that. And all of this at a time when Google Chrome have decided to get rid of ad blockers for good because of advertising revenue. So yes, Reddit is serving malicious adverts. If you're a Reddit user, be extra careful, on the lookout for malicious adverts. I think it's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's quite shocking. Especially there's no way to report them, or at least not easily.
So actually, I've just jumped over to the mobile app here, and there is it doesn't mean that anything will happen with them, but on the mobile app, when you get an advert, you've got 3 dots in the top right hand corner, and then there is an option to report it, and then you can say it's offensive, sexually explicit, violent, infringing on IP, misleading, low quality, or other. So you can actually report it. That's not true, but whether or not anything goes is a different story. It wasn't last week. It was the week before. We talked about the Instagram and the Dixon shirts, the fake profile on there, wasn't it? That Instagram profile yesterday, still live, still there. I reported that. Dixon reported that. It's still there. And the site it goes through to has got Dixon shirts on again now, 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Meta have done nothing about that. Meta don't care. It's absolutely disgusting.
It's interesting.
They can just...
It just made me think. I've seen similar before, and I've reported the domain to whoever owns the provider. Right. They've taken down stuff before with that. If you like domain abuse or whatever from whatever domain, I guess you can probably find out on who is or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I will. Now I'm going to have to do that. So I will do that. That's fine. Right. The next one I wanted to run through is QR code generators. So the code still works, but the link now points to an ad. Okay. So this is on tech support. Why do my QR codes expire? I thought once it's printed, it lasts forever. I made a business card with a QR from a free website, but now it leads to an ad and not my site. Aren't QR codes just permanent links? Is there a tech reason why the code would stop working? Or are these sites just tricking me? Is it even possible for a QR code company to deactivate my code? Or am I missing something in the way they work? So this will be because the QR code went through a third-party domain handler.
Yeah.
That's what this is going to be. And the top comment says, because you're going through someone else's server and they rented you a forwarding link. So that's what it is. Apparently you can make your own QR code in Chrome.
Yeah, I think it's under the share feature. You can now create a QR code.
Oh, cool. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. That's handy. Look, if you're going to make a QR code, just make sure that it goes directly to the domain you want it to go to, and that it doesn't go through quickqrcodes.com and then somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because if it goes somewhere else first, that can expire at any time.
Yeah, that's a good reminder.
And also, from a security perspective, if you're scanning a QR code and it goes through quickqrcodes.com, I'm making that up. That's not if that's a QR code service, I'm sorry. But if you scan a QR code and it goes through some random link aggregator, then go forward with suspicion and caution, because it might not be genuine.
Yeah.
Right. Lastly, this was the last one I saw on Reddit this week, and this was right below that other one on tech support. I was like, oh, this is quite relevant. This has been solved. We got a call claiming to be our ISP, Xfinity. They're in the US. The guy had my dad run a netstat command on his PC, which turned up about 70 different line items, about 40 of which marked established. The guy said that this indicates we have some kind of security issue because too many people have access to our Wi-Fi. He wanted us to connect him so he could fix the problem. It all sounded fishy, so we hung up. Well done. Is this a scam? We're relatively tech savvy, but this is beyond us, and Googling it didn't help much. So, yes, it's a scam. Absolutely 100% a scam. If you run netstat, do you know what netstat does?
Yeah, off the top of my head.
So netstat displays active TCP connections, listening ports and network statistics. So it just basically lists a stream of IP addresses, and it's something that a non-technical user would not understand.
Yeah, finds it's a bit scary. Makes them believe that they have someone connected.
Absolutely. So I'll tell you what, I'll share this here. That's what a netstat command would look like. I've just found that on Google image search. So it would be, all of these are connections to your computer when the only connection to your computer should be you. Therefore, all of these are people that are hacking your computer. If you give me access to your computer now, I can remove all of these and make your computer safe. What that person really means is I can then get access to your computer and install lots of horrible, malicious software and do all kinds of nasty things to you and your computer.
Yeah.
So, and we spoke about this a while. I said a couple of episodes ago about the call I had years ago. They will get you, if you get a call from IT support from Microsoft or your ISP, they'll never call you. But they'll get you to run a command like this, or it could be something different that will show a screen full of data that you won't understand, but they will just tell you that that's bad. Netstat normally, I'm not going to show it up because I don't know, someone might DOS me. But if I run netstat now on my device, I get a lot more results than that, but it looks just like that. So
Yeah.
it's that I thought that was useful. Right. I had an email I wanted to show you this week. And weeks and weeks ago, we talked about the login page for, I think it was East Herts Council or Hertfordshire County Council or something like that. Well, my local government, let me just get this email up. It's brilliant. My wife received this email and it actually landed in her junk email. Okay. So straight away, I don't know why she was looking through her junk mailbox. Mm-hmm. We haven't had that conversation yet. We probably need to have that conversation because it'd be interesting to know why she was looking through her junk mailbox. But I'll share this now. Hang on. Luke, in post, can we just blur out the email addresses on this one? Because I haven't had time to do it previously. Thank you. So you can see here, and the name as well, and the numbers. It's from the government. So the email address it's from is East Herts Electoral Services. And the email address looks genuine, okay? east.herts.electoral.services@notifications.service.gov.uk. So it's from a .gov.uk address. Mm-hmm. It's a very long email address, but it's from a .gov.uk address. And it came through to my wife, and the subject is Act Now, so East Herts can check who is eligible to be registered to vote at your address. And then it's got a gov.uk banner, and it says, Davis. I shouldn't have said that. Oh, well, there. It doesn't matter. You must take action so we can check who is eligible to register to vote at your address. Complete the steps below by Monday, the 4th of August. There's some urgency. Oh, spider senses are tingling. It just takes a few minutes online. You cannot reply directly to this email. Visit the website householdresponse.com.
Right.
I'm sorry. What? Enter your unique security code. Part 1. There's the numbers. Part 2. There's the numbers. Update your household information and submit. Please include the names and nationalities of everybody who lives at this address. And then it says, we will send each person a form. If you require further information, go to the website. Here's an email address, or you can call this number. Yours sincerely, Electoral Registration Officer, East Herts Council. So I could have clicked on the link to find out more information. I could have emailed them to check it was valid. I could have called the number. I think this is valid. And I have some loves and some hates with this, right? So unique security code. There's 2. I have to insert it in 2 parts, but they've sent them both in the same email.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes them worthless. And householdresponse.com, I've never heard of this domain. If you go to this domain, it's a website with a black bar across the top that just says Household Update Service. Click on your local authority to proceed to Household Update Service. Click on your local authority to proceed to Household Update Service. There's a grammatical error somewhere there.
Absolutely awful.
It looks awful.
Like,
it's just got a list of councils.
There's one there called CES Demo. I don't know what that means.
Oh, wow. There's one there called CES Demo. There is. If I click on this now, you may use this service to update or confirm the details of eligible voters at an address. You need the security codes provided. So now it asks me for the security codes. Let me just stop sharing a second. I'm going to put in the security codes. Bear with. Because this would be an ingenious way to get loads of information about a bunch of people. Let me just see what it needs. Maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree or being just over the top, right? But the postcode field could just be random and just scrape data. The code in the email, it could just accept anything. This could be a completely fake login one. So when I submit that data, it now says, section 1, is this the property that you're providing details for? And it gives my address. So it knows my house number. So that's good, actually. Like, it could just say, do you live on this road, which is publicly available?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it asks my names. Okay, so this is genuine at this point, but this would be, that email is dreadful, I think. Do you agree?
Yeah.
It's like not a great email.
You typically security
And it landed in
codes.
spam for a start as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Lots of things wrong there. Like, as you said, security code should probably come through separately, or it could even be on a letter posted to the house, like text message.
That's old school multi-factor authentication. Like, send it through in like a sealed envelope and say, keep this, you'll receive an email soon. There's your pre-qualifier for the email. So when you get the email, you can go, you will have received a letter.
The email that lands in your spam.
The email that lands in your spam.
Yeah.
So, yeah. East Hart's electoral. And I'll tell you what, to make this even worse, she uses Hotmail, Outlook. Nothing lands in spam in Hotmail and Outlook. Like, it wasn't even in Google. Like, to land in spam in Outlook.com, you have to be really bad, I think. Because, like,
yeah, everybody's probably reported it as spam. It's just...
Yeah. So, not great at all.
And even the user experience just looks awful. Listing all of the different councils and demo that one in there. It's like,
take me to a sign-in page. Let me enter my secret codes and my postcode. From that, you know where in the country I live because it pulled my email. Like, take the database down a level. Like, so many people aren't going to do it. It's mad. I had the only last one I wanted to say this week was my son goes to Scouts, and his Scout leader's email account was compromised. I got an email sent out from his email account, which is btinternet.com, generic. I don't know what his security is like, but it said, do you have a free moment over email? Unable to get in touch over the phone due to a serious throat pain caused by tonsillitis. They'd missed the S of tonsillitis. Sent by BT email app. So clearly just that little bit in the footer to make you think it's actually official. Anyone can write that in.
Yeah.
But that's a great example. Shortly after, WhatsApps went round saying our leader's had his account compromised and, don't ignore any emails. And apparently this was asking for cards,
gift
vouchers,
cards.
gift cards. It's a gift card scam. So this did land in spam for me, but other people had responded and the request was to go and purchase some gift cards. So they quickly sent a scam around. Like, no one's immune to this. It's not just big businesses. It's not even targeted him. They've just found an email account, looked at the email account, found out how to use it and used it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was all. If you get a strange email, do you have a free moment over email, unable to get in touch over the phone due to a serious throat pain caused by tonsillitis? It's like, okay, that sounds unusual or out of the ordinary. It feels weird. It's all about the feeling. Right, what did you have to talk about this week?
This is a few quick ones. The first one we can just put up on the screen, a video. I was trying TikTok. Basically, how do people dispose of their luggage tags and boarding passes at the airport? And this is just a bit of a reminder about how they can be used for malicious purposes.
Right, let me just share that. Hang on.
Bag tag scam that I just found out about and you should know about too. Don't throw away these bag tags away at the airport. This Reddit post with 2,000 upvotes from a Delta baggage claim manager mentions how scammers are using this information on the discarded bag tags to submit fraudulent claims of missing items. Throw them away when you get home or shred them. This also applies to your boarding passes too, because the information on the bag tags or the boarding passes can be used to pull up a lot of information about you, and with that information they can potentially find your address and go to your home while you're away on vacation. And a bonus tip, if you have a personal luggage tag on your luggage, which you should, make sure it's set the other way or at least cover it up so the world doesn't see all your personal information. Hit the follow button for more travel tips like this.
Interesting. Hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a video's a bit fast. yeah,
he's quick, isn't he? Yeah.
I think it's just a reminder, that these you don't really think about, when you're thinking about your holiday, I guess. Just be careful with tags afterwards, and even just having them around available for people to scan, even or look at, take pictures of, maybe. Dispose of them securely, I guess is the message.
Maybe then someone needs to think about the bag tags, and maybe is there a more modern way to do it? Like, either is it reusable RFID tags that clamp onto it? Like, is it like security tags you get in shops? Is it QR codes? Or is it as simple as, next to the baggage claim, having secure bins to put your bag tags in, with big signs saying, recycle your bag tags here, and take it down a recycling angle, because people won't understand the security risks. So if they had nice bins with like soft tops that you can't reach into, and everyone like put it in there.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Maybe there's a different way to do it. It's interesting though. I'm going to be traveling soon, and I wouldn't have even thought of that. I think my tags are on my bag and still from last time. So
no. And then the second thing I saw was, I don't follow this person on LinkedIn, but it appeared on my feed. I think someone else shared it or liked it. Can pop it up on the screen. It's a post by Jason Street.
I saw this as well.
Yeah. But they said, have you ever put on a jacket or piece of clothing and you find a random pocket with some money or old ticket, something you forgot about? And he says it happens to me as well, but what I find is slightly different, and it's just a bunch of fake IDs from different companies and businesses, including one for the FBI and CIA, which he's clarified that he's never used them, but probably even just having them maybe is a crime potentially. But
yeah,
bit of a funny one with all the different ID cards. But I saw something interesting in the comments. Someone saying, "Oh, thanks for giving me free templates for these businesses." And then they replied saying, "If you want even more, search #new badge or #new job on Instagram."
Yeah.
And you'll probably find lots of them where people have got a new job and they're excited and they've put their ID badge up with their shiny new device or something.
Do you know what? This is why we went through where we used to work, went through a rebadging process. They upgraded all their badges and upgraded their ID card system, and they went unbranded. And it shocks me that, like, I get they went unbranded, but they were all the same. Like, they weren't plain white. They were unique to the business, but they went unbranded. But then it didn't take long for people to start posting them on, but the unbranding, it was quite a complicated pattern. It like had multiple colors and was quite detailed, and it's it would have been harder to duplicate than any of the ones that Jason's shown there.
This made me think. We spoke about, I can't remember if it's the last episode or I think it was, or the one before the interview episode, about how there was some stat around new starters being the most vulnerable to phishing and stuff like that. Even just them posting up their ID cards on social media, they can get targeted further through that. So something to think about, I guess, when you get a new job, maybe not to post so much out there on social media, and for businesses to explain the risk of doing that.
It'd be really nice. Someone gets an ID card. It'd be really nice if they slotted it in a little envelope or a little like gold wrapper, and it had messaging on that explained how important it was. Like, enclosed is your brand new ID card. It's yours. Don't share it. Keep it safe. And it just had made it feel special and unique, rather than just being, there's your ID card, thank you very much. Which most places are. Maybe we need to invest in, eco-friendly, recyclable little cardboard slots. So when the receptionist or security guard prints off a new one, they whack it in one of these little presentation pouches and gives it to them, and reminds them to keep it safe.
That's a good idea. I think they mentioned that, like, these IDs have worked or someone in the comments mentioned that they've done it before, and yeah, you can get into places with fake IDs.
Yeah,
they're not. Yeah,
some physical security. It's funny. Some places I've been to, I can imagine just walking straight in, like with that kind of thing, or someone letting you through a door. Whereas other places I've worked, physical security is on point, and not even government, right? It's but every door has proper good access control. There's no doors externally that you would hold open for someone, and if there's a wing gate you have to get through afterwards. So it's cultures. It all comes down to the culture of the business, I think.
Yeah. There's one more I had quickly remembered. I discussed it with you last week, I think, about the Ring supposed data breach / hackers. I saw it on TikTok before about how you'd go into your account history and see that there were login events on a specific date.
Did Ring.com get hacked? Yeah. That was the question. Yeah.
I just remembered it now. So I had a bit of research, and supposedly it was a bug on their systems that seemed to have shown all previous sign-ins to a certain date were coming up as the 28th of May, and obviously everybody could see that in their account and panicked, thinking that someone had logged into their account. It's this there's a Facebook post, not the clearest of Facebook posts, but basically saying that the bug's been resolved, and explained how the bug incorrectly displayed prior dates as May 28th, and to visit status.ring.com, where it explains a little bit about this potential incident. But you can see in the comments, I'll put this up on the screen, but everybody just saying, "Oh, you're lying to us, and we don't believe you."
I remember we checked this. I don't believe. Well, I checked it. You sent this to me, and I checked it, and they've gone. I remember there being a list of different devices there. You shared me a TikTok as well. I'll tell you what, if we can find the TikTok, drop it in here. Mm-hmm. And if you can't, don't. It essentially listed a whole raft of different device types, all logging in within seconds of each other. And it did look like it had all the hallmarks of being some system issue, because I remember there being different device types, but it looked really dodgy. It looked like it did make you wonder whether Ring.com had a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess who knows, in the future we might hear about it again. But for now, it seems like it was a bug.
Yeah. The only Ring.com product I've got is doorbell, and that looks outwards. So if that did get compromised, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world, but I'm not going to be in a rush to unplug it, because someone can see what's happening at my front door. You can pull up outside and have a look. But Ring.com makes security cameras, and we spoke only a few weeks ago about buying trusted brands for security cameras.
Yeah, nice.
Because the security is more secure.
It's a bit of a nightmare for them, I guess, battling off social media around this thing. But
yes. Yeah,
that was the topics for this week.
Brilliant. Right. So that's all we got time for this week then. Lots and lots we covered. Don't forget, if you see any stories you'd like us to discuss, get in touch. hello@riskycreative.com. If you're going to be at the SANS Summit in Chicago in August, give us a shout. Let me know if you want to sit down, have a chat in front of the camera. I've got some cracking questions to ask people. So we're going to get loads of content from that. It's going to be really, really good. Sign up for the newsletter at riskycreative.com, or search on LinkedIn for the awareness angle. But if not, we'll talk again next week.
Cool, yeah. Catch you next week.
Cool.
Bye, everyone.
See you next week. Goodbye.